Tomar esto con un grano de sal. Prendillo con le penze. Pregue ise con un grau de sal. Bunu bir tuzu ili al. Partito moligo alati. Alright. That was me saying in multiple different languages, take this information with a grain of salt. Because even though I've been sent this information through the DMs over on Twitter, speaking of which, make sure you go follow me at Sir_Hunts, even though I have verified it to the best I can, it still is most likely a load of horseshit, because nothing is 100% confirmed until it airs on our screens. If you're new here, I make these videos for purely entertainment purposes. So please, before I jump into the contents of this video, do me a massive favor and slap a like on this video. So the like goal is going to be 42069. Get it? Long nights! And here's your sign. Alright, now first things first. Game of Thrones Season 8, say what you will about it, is going to be a thing of the past. House of the Dragon is the definitive Game of Thrones prequel series that's been greenlit for an entire first season, and according to some rumors recently that have come out from Miguel Sapochnik, he sort of somewhat confirms there's going to be multiple seasons. Now obviously, most of the people watching this video aren't fucking morons, so we know this show, and everything that we've seen about it, everything that we know about the source material, is 100% gonna get ran for at least 5 seasons. But with that aside, I think most of the people want to know, how will it end? What is going to be the defining moment of Season 1? Because then we can kind of get a timeline for what the rest of the seasons will have in them, right? So if we know where Season 1 ends, we can kind of guess from the source material what all is going to happen when you compare it with the leaked pictures. Now, I'm actually working on a massive video like that right now. It's at this moment, it's about 28 minutes, and that should be coming out within the next few weeks, but I'm waiting until they 100% wrap filming. Matt Smith has said that they're not going to finish filming until January of next year, so I think there may be some more information we're missing about that. I think that's just the extended time allotted for reshoots, but also, that's only 2 months from now, so it could very well be true. But first things first. Now, there are several things that happen in the source material for Dance of the Dragons, Fire and Blood Part 1, Princess and the Queen, the King's Brother or a Rogue Prince, right? So all of those books, there's several moments in them early on that would make for a perfect moment to cap Season 1. One of the things we have to realize is that they're doing dual timelines. So we're not just going to see what happens, in the lead up to 130 AC. We're most likely going to see what happens way back in 115 AC. And the exact timeline is something that you have to wait until the show comes out. Like, you could pull up the source material timeline and be like, okay, I think these events are going to happen on this episode. This director is directing this episode, so I think these scenes are going to take place. That's all a little bit too much, and it's mostly hearsay bullshit. You can kind of get a good image of what's going to happen, but mostly you have to just wait until this trailer comes back, and then you cross-reference. So really, once the entirety of filming is completed, then we have multiple trailers, maybe even some clips that are released on late-night programs like Jimmy Fallon or some shit. Then you can do the cross-referencing with all of the filming source material and then have somewhat of an accurate timeline. But all of that aside, there are several moments that I just mentioned before. One of them being the Black Council, or the coronation of Rhaenyra. Now, it's interesting, because this obviously happens at the same time as Aegon II's coronation, or the Green Council, right? So, basically, Viserys dies, and Alicent and her father basically keep that information on lock, and then Aegon is crowned. Obviously, once Rhaenyra hears about the death of her father, that's something tragic, and one of the things that happens to her is that she actually goes into labor early, and it's mentioned in the source material that she labors on Dragonstone for 2 days before ultimately losing her child, Visenya, who is the child that she has with Daemon. Now, if you look at some of the teaser trailer material, obviously I'm sort of contradicting myself because I mentioned that most of these trailers and shit, they only have footage from the first couple of episodes. But if we're doing a dual timeline, it's very much possible to show very little of the main timeline until the end of the first season. And then the first season is a lot of flashbacks. So we're jumping around a lot. And then, it's possible to do that and then not have the main timeline progress all that much. So if that's the case, and then you combine it with some of the leaked information that's been circulating online about one of the extras seeing a few leaked scenes, one of them being the Black Council or Rhaenyra's coronation, and another one being like a funeral pyre, supposedly for a Targaryen baby. Well, all of that really lines up perfectly. So I think we can sort of confirm that, for the most part, in quotations there, obviously this could be a load of horseshit until it, airs on our screens. But I think, and I've said this for 2 years now, a good point to wrap up season 1 of House of the Dragon is you have a dual contrast. The black coronation, the green coronation. You have the crowning of Aegon, the crowning of Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra is the rightful heir. Aegon is someone who didn't necessarily want to be king. His mom pushed him into the role, but once he took on that role, he fully embodied it and becomes sort of like a grown-up, more fucked up version of Joffrey, if that's even possible. Like, obviously, Joffrey was a pretty sick and twisted individual. But another thing I think to mention is that when we go back to the teaser trailer, and there's the footage at the very end of Daemon and Rhaenyra on the beach, a lot of my commenters noted that Rhaenyra's clothing on the right side, particularly her sleeve, looks to be torn. Daemon's hair looks to be disheveled, and same with Rhaenyra. Some people were thinking that they could actually be making love. What if this is a massive sort of like Game of Thrones callback, which is super twisted version to show you that maybe the two of them are hooking up on the beach and some sort of signal is lit, right? So we see that they find out about the death of their child, like when they're making love on the beach, and then at the same time, we have like a bit of a time jump and we see them find, like, there could be so much to go along with some of this leaked information, especially when you consider that these events, like you have the contrast of the greens versus the blacks, a rightful female heir versus a wrongful male heir, right? But according to their society, Aegon should have been king. Alicent did spend time with the old king. She knows his ways, and if she's following some of the laws of Westeros, well, then she's right. Regardless of what Viserys did, there were established laws. Obviously, I'm Team Blacks all the way, but this show is going to be amazing. And I think it'd be awesome to cap this first season by having something like a contrast of the two of these. Like, I thought it would be interesting to humanize the Greens at first and make the Blacks look more cruel, right? So you have Cersei and the Lannisters in power, and then they get humanized later. So it would be nice for this new series. Everyone's expecting Rhaenyra and the Blacks to be like House Stark and the underdogs of this story. It'd be nice if, since, for realistic purposes, Rhaenyra is Princess of Dragonstone. She's next in line for the Iron Throne. If this show starts with Viserys still being king, well, then it would be a nice dynamic to show that maybe Rhaenyra sort of abuses her powers a bit. And maybe towards the end of the season, and in season 2, and obviously later on, she gets humanized, and we realize that, no, this is the reason why she was doing this. Or they could do it in the first season alone by showing why she is the way she is through flashbacks. I don't know. You all let me know what you think down below in the comments section. Alright, this seems like a good point to wrap this video up. I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you could, please do me that massive favor and, slap a like on this video. The like goal is going to be 42069. Really, just as many likes as you can give me. Also, make sure you're subscribed and turn those notifications on. I never really do this, but I have a subscriber goal of trying to reach 100,000 yet again before House of the Dragon comes out. So if you want to help me reach that goal, please subscribe to my channel. Please share my content on Reddit, on Twitter, on Facebook, on any form of social media, and just help me get my name out there. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and a super special shout out to every single member of my Patreon family over on patreon.com/SirHuntsReviews. My name's Mark, and this has been Long Night Boy Leaks Reviews.